Hey everyone, Brian with Spicy Astrobites here. Today I am going to start to install a couple of worm compost bins in my garden. So it's a really cool way to help amend your garden's nutrients in a natural way. Kind of replicating nature, right? I mean, a lot of these plants just grow perfectly fine out in the wild without any kind of human intervention. So this is just a way for in environments like this, like a garden, a raised bed, wherever you're at, or in conditions where you don't have a whole lot of organic material, like leaves falling, you know, in the desert, for example. This is just a great way to amend your soil and just make sure that the soil is fresh all the time, basically. So at least that's my understanding. This is the first time I've done it, and so I'm just kind of sharing the process with you, and hopefully, I've done enough research to not propagate bad information. So I'll show you what I've already done and some of the tools I'm using to get it done. So this is probably a lot easier to do before you have a garden full of mature plants. But I want to get the worms in. I want to get these compost bins in my garden at some point, and there's really just not a great time to do it. You don't want to do it when it's too hot, and you want to do it when the soil is nice and cool. So now is a good time, according to what I've been told, to get worms in the soil. What I've done so far is I've started kind of like in the center of my garden as a whole, but also the center of the bed, and used this, I think it's called a Hori Hori gardening knife. This thing is amazing. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. It's a very inexpensive tool, and it's so much better than like just a standard little spade that you use in your garden. So definitely recommend that. So what I've done is just dug out a little area deep enough for, I have one of these here, a wire basket. So these are just like $1 at the dollar store. They're meant to be like trash cans, but I used these earlier in the season to protect my plants when they were younger from birds, just chopping them in half, or rodents. And so that really helps out a lot. You just put them over the top, and it's a really inexpensive way to do it. You can buy specialized ones that are made specifically for doing that are basically the same thing, or they use a different material or whatever, but they cost like 30 bucks, and these are just $1 at the dollar store. So if you find them at your dollar store, definitely pick up like 10 of them, because you never know what you're going to use them for. So anyway, like I said, this is great because there's roots here, and I don't want to dig through my roots necessarily. I don't want to destroy them, but I want to get this project done and get the worms happy, and get a nice little environment going on for them. So this digs right through easily, and you can be like almost more surgical, with the soil. So you're not digging out like a huge area for this. I'm able to just go straight down and loosen up the soil and basically just pull it out, and it took me just a few minutes to get a space deep enough. The soil is pretty good, but there's no worms. There's definitely no worms in here, and that's what we're gonna fix. And I actually bought a bag, I'll show you, of worms from a local place, which I'll go into more detail about later. So anyway, that's what I've got going on, and I'll show you what it looks like as we add more material and the worms to this and bury it. The other thing I wanted to mention is that what I was told is that they kind of have like a 10-foot range for finding organic material. So the idea with these, if you're not familiar with these worm composting bins, is basically, you start off your worms inside here, and there's holes on the bottom and the sides to allow them to go in and out of these worm compost bins. And it's like any kind of compost. You put your food scraps in there, or organic material, paper goods, like you put shredded paper, cardboard, that type of thing. Any kind of, just like you do normal composting, you put in here, and the worms use it for food and break it down. And they're worm castings, which you may be familiar with using, are just it's worm poop. So that's clearly just automatically added into your garden, which is fantastic. So you don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of worm castings to add to your garden, and it's a really good amendment for your garden. So anyway, I'm gonna get this project going and show some things along the way. So this is, again, it kind of sucks because I have these really large plants and the roots are really healthy, and I'm gonna have to go through and dig these out, but long term I think this is going to be beneficial, and maybe the plants closer to these bins are going to be hurting, but the ones in between the bins should be healthier, hopefully. So hopefully this works out. Anyway, so I'm just kind of like flipping the basket over and get an idea for the size so that I can go in and not dig any more than I need to, right? I don't want to destroy too many roots. The other thing I have to be mindful of, I use drip tape, which is partially buried, and I want to make sure that I don't dig into it, cut it, because I don't want this project to turn into multiple projects. The other thing I think I should mention is that we went from being in the 110 plus to hundreds for a while to we're dipping down in the 40s at night. So it's been kind of wild season. And I don't know how long we're going to get before if we get a hard freeze, when that'll happen. So these plants might not have a whole lot longer left. Some people use buckets for this, cans. You could probably reuse some planters you might have. But these are nice because they're flexible. So you can kind of, if there's obstructions like this rock that's kind of in the way, kind of flex around it. The worms don't care. I think that's pretty good. Again, it's, doesn't have to be perfect. So there we go. It sticks out a little bit, but I can create a little mound around it and it won't look too bad. But yeah, I think the worms will enjoy their little stay there. I've got these little tomatoes I can drop in there and get them started. I've been told that they kind of like have this 10-foot range, the worms. So what you want to do is try to have, if you've got a larger space, is make sure you've got some compost bins like every 10 feet or so, to make sure that they can spread around the garden and cover your whole area. So that's the idea. I'll turn it around, kind of show you. Started in the center. I've only got a few of these wire baskets, so put one in that corner, and the idea is that I'm going to put one in each corner. It's basically like a forest in here right now. Here's a large bag of worms that I picked up. So they say that these bags contain like up to 700 worms. There they are. The place I went to today to pick up these worms is Arizona Worm Farm, and they're down in South Phoenix, but they carry all kinds of great things, and it's they take that all natural sort of approach, which is kind of cool, and it's nice to just build an ecosystem in your garden that thrives. So they've got a lot of resources there, a lot of knowledge from the employees there. I talked to a few of them, and they gave me some really good information, but also really good products that you can go and get at Arizona Worm Farm. And no, they're not a sponsor, but it's a cool resource for people here in Arizona and Phoenix area specifically. It's already hard enough to garden here, so it's nice to have that sort of resource not too far away. For me, it's a bit of a drive, but it was worth it to check it out and see what they had there, and actually talk to someone face to face about their recommendations. So this other product I'm showing you here is their like worm tea, I think they call it, and essentially it's I don't know how they make it. They have glasses, but what you can do is you can actually spray it right on the foliage. The thing is, when you get it, you have to use it within a few hours. So the time is ticking for me, and I need to get this, need to put this to use. When you go and pick it up, they have it in kind of like this big vat that's bubbling, and that's reintroducing oxygen to it to make sure that the microbes have a good environment to thrive in. So then once they put it into one of these types of containers, obviously, you know, the microbes start to die away, and their effectiveness gets, you know, lower and lower. Worth the trip if you're local. They do ship the worms in cooler months. Definitely reach out to them if you're looking to buy worms. You know, I was thinking about buying worms from like a pet store, bait shop, or something like that. But you'd spend what, like $10 on a little cup that might have 20, 30 worms, maybe, if they're even alive. So this whole bag was, with like 700 worms, was $45. Okay, so here we are, another day. I ran out of time last night to do shoot some video of me actually adding the worms to the compost bins, but they are in there now. We're here the next day, and so I wanted to kind of show you the end result. It doesn't look much different, but here we go. Down in here, see if I can stir up some baby worms there, and there's a larger one there. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Smell good, kid.
So we're going to get those covered back up. I basically poured in the bag of worms, which had, you know, soil and compost with the worms, and added some of the native, or my garden bed soil on top of them to kind of bury them a little bit. And now I've got some lettuce that we didn't eat, and I'm gonna top off, or not top off, but add some lettuce in there, and then maybe some shredded paper.
That is mine?
Yeah, you want to help?
Yeah.
All right, so just try to, yeah, grab a handful. No, you can grab more than that.
Like this?
Yeah.
Me.
And try to get it in that basket there. Wait, Grace, you can help next. Yep. So just like this.
Right now?
Not right now, but they will be. So there we go. Just a little bit in there, and that should go a long way, I think. You know, that's some primo food for the worms. Okay, so let's go around. Now we're gonna add
More?
here. We're gonna add a little bit of shredded paper on top.
Because they're going to eat it?
Yeah, it'll. They need to have like a balanced diet, you know, just like you girls.
You know, I want to see the worms eat.
Well, it's a slow process, so you're not going to be able to see them just start chomping down on it.
Please, I want to see.
Okay, well that's it. So we're going to go around, and there's 4 or 5 more. Yeah, we'll do one over there in just a second, okay? So what I ended up doing was actually doing one in the center of the garden, and then about every 10 feet. So I didn't actually go to the very edges, because I feel like maybe the worms will automatically kind of explore the different regions and poop everywhere, hopefully. So I'm gonna finish this up, and that's it. I mean, it's a pretty easy, simple process, and should have some really good results. And it's not like, you know, something that you see overnight, but you know, it's just part of the process to building up a better raised bed, and hopefully yielding some good results with like larger peppers, or like more plentiful pepper production in my case. And I do have a couple tomato plants, so hopefully some tomatoes too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. We'll see you next time.